Ever since Donald Trump chose J.D. Vance as his running mate, Vance has done nothing but create problems for him, and now he may have caused the biggest one yet. While Trump scrambles to hide and deny everything about the Jeffrey Epstein files, J.D. Vance just dragged it all into the spotlight, leaking and exposing details Trump claimed didn't even exist. We're going to break it all down. Now, before we can get into how Vance completely screwed his boss and everyone in this administration trying to cover for him, I want to start with how Donald Trump is trying to distract and just this humiliating clip right here.
I didn't know that they were going to do it. I don't really follow that too much. It's sort of a witch hunt, just a continuation of the witch hunt. The witch hunt that you should be talking about is they caught President Obama absolutely cold, Tulsi Gabbard. What they did to this country in 2016, starting in 2016, but going up all the way going up to 2020 in the election. They tried to rig the election, and they got caught. And there should be very severe consequences for that. You know, when we caught Hillary Clinton, I said, you know what? Let's not go too far here. It's the ex-wife of a president, and I thought it was sort of terrible. And I let her off the hook, and I'm very happy I did. But it's time to start, after what they did to me, and whether it's right or wrong, it's time to go after people. Obama's been caught directly. So people say, oh, you know, a group. It's not a group. It's Obama. His orders are on the paper. The papers are signed. The papers came right out of their office. They sent everything to be highly classified. Well, the highly classified's been released. And what they did in 2016 and in 2020 is very criminal. It's criminal at the highest level. So that's really the things you should be talking about. I know nothing about the other, but I think it's appropriate.
Calling the Epstein investigation a witch hunt while insisting Obama should be investigated for sedition is laughable. And MAGA Republicans are finally starting to realize that Donald Trump has been lying to them all along. He never went after the deep state. He never held the elites accountable. Even some MAGA podcast influencers are beginning to question it. And what Robert Garcia said about the hours of footage Pam Bandy is still hiding makes it even more damning, right here.
We know, as the Attorney General has said, they have the full Epstein files. There are actual written documents. There are videos in those files. There's an enormous amount of information we understand. And what's really concerning and which concern the American public is why Donald Trump has done a complete turnaround. Now that he actually had the power to release the files, he is choosing not to. And not just essentially stepping back. He's attacking people that are calling for the release of the files, including people of his own base. And so this should alarm the entire country, including those that supported him. They feel betrayed. Democrats, we're going to fight every single day to ensure that the truth comes out. And if that means putting out subpoenas, if that means ensuring that we go to court to get documents, we're going to do everything we can in our power to do so.
Now, we know that Pam Bandy's statement on what is left of the Epstein files. What hasn't been released is it's boring, or Donald Trump says it's not credible. It's not important. But we know what it really is. It's damaging to Donald Trump. That's why there are so many FBI agents flagging whenever Donald Trump's mentioned in these documents. But something that we haven't talked about is the videos. The videos that Kash Patel claimed were the bombshell to end all bombshells that he just didn't want to release. Well, J.D. Vance clearly has some thoughts on them that he shared in a bragging dinner party. And I cannot believe it. Vance is boasting he knows what's in the Epstein files to random dinner guests. J.D. Vance casually informed a comedian over dinner what's in the files connected to Jeffrey Epstein while trying to downplay their significance. Tim Dillon made the revelation on an emergency episode of his podcast titled The Epstein Cover-Up. Featured on the episode was conspiracy theorist and InfoWars host Alex Jones, one of several Donald Trump supporters who have turned on the president over his handling of the Epstein case. Bondi said, "We have 10,000 hours of video. I had dinner last week with the vice president." Dillon said, "He told me that was commercial horn." They do not have videos of any powerful person in a compromising position. That's the party line that they're going with. If that's the case, why would Bandy call it evidence? She's not an idiot. She's the Attorney General. Dylan added, why would she say she had files on her desk if none of these implicated anybody? However, the DOJ and FBI shot down claims of the existence of any so-called client list belonging to Epstein, despite Bandy stating in February that it was on my desk right now awaiting review. The FBI and DOJ also stated that there will be no further arrest in connection to Epstein's crimes and that he took his own life and was not murdered inside his New York jail cell in August 2019. Another top MAGA figure who spent years demanding the release of the Epstein files was Vance himself. In a December 2021 X post, Vance wrote, what possible interest would the U.S. government have in keeping Epstein's client secret? Oh. In a June 2025 interview with comedian Theo Vaughn, Vance added, seriously, we need to release the Epstein list. That is an important thing. On July 16th, Van asked Vance, what changed? While resharing the clip on X. So J.D. Vance is now bizarrely claiming that none of the Epstein video footage can be shown, that it's unscrupulous and needs to be hidden. But that directly contradicts what Pam Bandy and others have said. So why is Vance suddenly saying it's all unusable? Rachel Maddow breaks this contradiction down right here.
This moment,
the fact that Donald Trump cannot even get his vote, delivering a single message shows just the type of chaos the MAGA is currently in and why we need to keep pushing on the story. We are certainly going to be on this show, and if you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button and leave a like on this video, and if you stuck around at the end, you can drop the blue button in the comments, and until next time, I will see you soon.